Today we have a walk around of a recent build dubbed Project RockDoc. This is a 2016 JK Unlimited Rubicon Hard Rock. We'll start with what you see here. It's got Metalcloak overline fenders in the front and the rear with powder coated 4-inch flares, and the bases have been color matched to the vehicle. These have been on for a little while. We put those on there last year, as well as these Evo rocker skins and Tnt Adventure Sliders. You can already see back here where he's been using them. It's dented up a little bit, but the nice thing about these sliders is they offer a nice step with grip, and also has a boat side lower area that ties into the frame. Tires and wheels are TrailReady HD 17 beadlocks, satin black powder coated wheel with a polished slim ring. Right there in the middle, that is a Dynatrac Dynalock stub hub kit, which is tied into the front axle here, which is a Dynatrac Pro Rock XD60, 68.5 inch width, RCVs, 488s, ARB, Steer Smarts, high mount drag link, and then an in-house tie rod, which is 1-inch ID, 1.5-inch OD DOM with inserts and Barnes offset 7/8 Heims on each end. You can see the outboarded track bar mount there, and it goes over and ties into the GenRight bracket on the axle side. You can see how there's no bracketry hanging down from the axles. It's pretty smooth underbelly with lots of ground clearance. We've got JW speaker LED headlights, factory turn signals, and the Baja Designs LP9 lights with the amber backlighting. This is the ultra clearance GenRight aluminum front bumper, powder coated black. It's filled with a worn platinum Xeon 12S winch. It has our aluminum Big Hoss fair lead, built by our friends at Rockman in Colorado, stacked with a Factor 55 Ultra Hook. Has a PSC big bore hydro assist system, so it's got the extreme duty pump, high volume pump with the big bore box. You can see the size of the nut on that pitman arm. It's a lot larger, and the shaft is a lot larger than a factory JK. Got a PSC cooler mounted behind the grill. Rugged Ridge aluminum hood latches. Baja Design Squadron Pros on the A-pillars with the wide cornering lens. Here's a close-up of the GenRight suspension, which is using the King 2.5-inch internal bypass reservoir shocks. Have 28 levels of adjustment here on this knob, and we've got some stainless braided hoses that were made 30 inches in length. Give it lots of articulation without any risk of damaging the brake line. You can see the axle side of the GenRight 3-link suspension. This is using GenRight's axle bridge for the Dynatrac XD60 housing. PRP limit straps that come with the GenRight kit. And these are Metalcloak inner fenders that have been cut and modified to work with the coilovers and reservoirs. Rugged Radio's 25-watt waterproof VHF UHF radio. Here's the side mount antenna for the driver's side hinge, and the radio is mounted here on the side of the console. The hand mic is mounted to a Cooltech assembly for the grab bar. It pinches behind the grab bar to give you a nice spot for mounting your microphone. And then we've got the magnetic mic assembly. We keep those in stock as well. Factory head unit. Ram mount X grip here on the windshield. And then we've got the S-Pod with a few switches filled up with an Aeroforce gauge. Trailer brake controller for his CVT trailer. And this is the side plate on the dash for the Evo cage. This is the Evo high visibility chrome moly cage. Goes up and there's some grab handles. And he's got some more communication stuff up here, which is a President CB mounted to the overhead bar with another magnetic mic. And you can see the bar extends back to the passenger's area. Here's a shot of the rear coilover assembly. And you can see where it goes up through the fender well up into the cabin of the vehicle. We'll open the back gate and let you see those leather bags that cover up that exposed area. It's got GenRight's rear sway bar, GenRight's rear gas tank, and you can see the King bump stop here. And again, really high clearance rear axle and brackets. This is a Dynatrac Pro Rock 80 rear differential with matching 488 and ARB. Here's some more views of the Dana 80 differential, as well as the high clearance bracket kit that is supplied with the GenRight Elite suspension. We've got some ORO rock lights mounted. It's an 8 light kit mounted at various spots underneath the vehicle. Here's a shot of the GenRight 33-gallon crawler tank. Here's a view of the tank and the rear axle from a few feet back, so you can see the amount of ground clearance this vehicle has underneath it. We'll pan up to the rear bumper. That's a factory Rubicon Hard Rock rear bumper. You can see the bumper has been chopped and capped. And we've added some rigid Ignite diffused lens lights to the side of it for additional rear facing light. That is a ARB disconnect with our remote fitting kit, which you may have seen in other YouTube videos. Here's a shot of the XO corner crawler kit from Metalcloak with their LED flush mount taillights. Again, this has been color matched to the vehicle. The rub rail is left black anodized aluminum, and then the body panels are color matched red. And of course the flares are powder coat, a black texture powder coat. Here's another shot of the Nitto 1350/17 Trail Grappler tires mounted on TrailReady wheels. And you can see the hub flange of the Dynatrac 40 spline Dana 80 shaft poking through the wheel there. This is AEV's tire carrier with high lift jack mount. And he has a 48-inch jack mounted to that high lift mount. Here's the rear view of the tire carrier with the jack mount. It's got the CB antenna mounted back here, as well as a third brake light, license plate light, and this here is the Rough Stuff 8-lug mounting plate for the spare wheel to match. You can see the license plate and third brake light here from ORO, off-road only, out of up north, as well as our backup camera system. Here's the rear compartment assembly with the WeatherTech mat cut to fit around the GenRight towers and bags that are coming through the rear floor area. These leather bags come with the kit, give it a nice clean finished look. His ARB twin compressor is mounted in the rear as well, and the airline is plumbed over here to the corner where the ARB manifold is for both of the locking solenoids for the axles. And then the hose goes from there outside to the disconnect for the air. You can see it poking through right over here. You see that or not? That is the disconnect for the ARB remote fitting. This Jeep has a color matched hard top, but he also has the soft top, and the soft top of choice for this build was the Trek Top NX Glide Twill. Here's a view from the front side of the rear differential. That's the Pro Rock 80. Double triangulated rear suspension with what I think is a 3/8 aluminum plate. This is the 70/75 option upgrade for that skid plate from GenRight. We'll pan out here in just a moment and give you a side shot of the amount of ground clearance this Jeep has. Here's a shot for the amount of ground clearance we have here. Completely flat belly, able to slide over lots of obstacles. You'll be able to power through them as well. Here's the underhood portion of the S-Pod, 6-switch control system. And he's got the PSC high volume pump for the engine that we have provided. Here is a Bruiser 500 horsepower LS3. Fully integrated system. Uses a Chrysler computer, so you just have one simple harness and computer. Mopar big bore master cylinder and booster, which is why we now have the compressor in the rear. We had to take the Metalcloak bracket off that was currently, it was on there before it came in. We put on last year, so we removed that and put the compressor in the rear to save up some room. And this is the 500 horse Bruiser Conversions LS3. We've got a circuit breaker over here on the fender well, which provides power to all of the rear components, which includes the rugged radios and the air compressor, and that's all currently. And everything's powered up with a North Star, a Group 24 Marine battery. This vehicle is equipped with an Atlas 3.8 ratio transfer case. It's got the nice billet shifters here in the console. WeatherTech mats throughout. This is the access panel for the GenRight rear tank to access fuel pump, so you don't have to drop the fuel tank to service anything. And you can see here we had to remove his factory sub since the gas tank took up that void. And it's all covered up with a WeatherTech mat to a nice clean appearance. Under the seat is mounted an Alpine Sub. It's kind of hard to see under there, but it tucks up nicely under the driver's seat. Gives him some base for the base that was lost by the removal of the rear factory sub. And this unit has a base control knob located right here on the console, so you can adjust it to suit your needs as you drive. This switch plate here is one of the J plates we sell here at Rock Your 4x4. Note this switch here, the rocker needs to be changed. We've got that ordered. We accidentally ordered the wrong one, but this area used to be filled with the factory Rubicon axle locker and sway bar switch, and since the lockers are different and so is the sway bar, the front sway bar is deleted, we've gotten rid of that component and replaced it with our J-plate bezel here that goes above the speaker. Works great for Rubicons that are getting the full treatment, becoming better than Rubicons. Here's a shot of the rear backup camera view. Here's a view of the belly pan again. You can see the Jeep gets used. These are the boat sides of the Tnt Sliders. Have plenty of rock rash. Functioning parking brake with this Dynatrac Pro Rock 80. We've got true dual exhaust here. Couldn't provide a way to connect those and combine them to one. They dumped right after the skid pan here at the control arm. Here's another view of the ORO rock lights mounted in the fender well, along with the King reservoir shocks and 2.5-inch internal bypass coilovers. Again, the GenRight tank peeking through the frame there, and the GenRight rear sway bar. Got a 14-inch antenna X with some Squadron Pros up here on the pillar. Beautiful Jeep, and it does get beat on too. The Jeep will be heading out to Moab, driving 4,000 miles round trip, 3,400 miles of road driving just to get there and get back. Looking forward to that trip with the customer.